The case we have for you today sounds like something out of a movie, but every part of it is disturbingly real. It's a story with everything: a cold-blooded killer, political connections, a mysterious girlfriend turned accomplice, bribes, luxury inside prison walls, a daring jailbreak, and an alleged police encounter that raised more questions than answers. This isn't just a tale of crime, it's a glimpse into how power, corruption, and silence often go hand in hand. And at the center of it all is one man, Dhar, a name that still sends chill down the spine of many in Meghalaya. So buckle up, because this isn't just a case about what happened, it's about what shouldn't have. This is the Shillong Crime. Hi everyone, this is Jolly Khashiying.
And I'm Shamar Thapa.
And the case we have for you today is
The Full Moon Dhar case.
On September 16, 2008, a warm, bright and sunny day, 5 people set out for a picnic in Mauprang near Tinring. They also planned to wash clothes by the brook. Among them were 2 women, Jubliansi Kharmaulong, a 35-year-old mother of 5 from Nongra, and Warlangki Papeng, a 20-year-old college student originally from Sapai village in Jantia Hills. At the time, Warlangki was renting a place in Low Marbong. Tragically, this would be the last time anyone saw them alive. Joining them were 3 men, Fulmoon Dhar, Krauborlang Marbanyang, and Mickey Chester Suchiang. Now Shamar, let me tell you this. This is a very common routine in many Khasi households and probably across Meghalaya, where people would often head to nearby brooks or rivers to wash clothes. And while the clothes dry, they cook and eat together, and it turns into a small picnic, something I loved doing as a child myself. That day, the group washed their clothes, shared a meal, laughed, cracked jokes, drank a bit, and simply spent time together. But then, something changed. Out of nowhere, something changed in Fulmoon Dhar. He began making sexual advances towards the women. When they resisted, Fulmoon ordered the two men to help him restrain them. Together, they raped the women, but the horror didn't end there. Something snapped inside Fulmoon. In a fit of rage, he told Krauborlang and Mickey to hold the women down, and then he slit their throats. The 3 men abandoned their lifeless bodies in the forest, leaving them to die a painful and lonely death. Back home, the families of Jubliansi and Warlangki began to worry. It was unlike them to stay out late. As the hours passed, 7 p.m., then 10, 11, then midnight, but still no sign of the women. Panic set in. Their families stayed up all night, praying, hoping they'd walk through the door. But hope turned to horror the next morning when a local resident discovered their bodies and alerted the villagers and police. Eyewitnesses and family members confirmed that the 2 women had gone to the picnic with Fulmoon, Krauborlang, and Mickey. After their arrests, both men quickly gave up Fulmoon's name, telling police that he had committed the murders. Police launched a search and arrested Fulmoon 3 days later on September 19th. Although very little is known about his early life, Fulmoon Dhar, also known as Gabriel Nongtudu, was 22 years old at the time of the murders and hailed from Thangrang village in Jantia Hills. He was already a wanted fugitive, involved in at least 5 criminal cases including rape and murder. Before this case, Fulmoon had been arrested for raping a girl at Suntuksiar near Jowai. He also had links to a series of extortion cases and allegedly helped HNLC militants collect money from businessmen in Shillong and Jantia Hills. On August 17, 2008, Fulmoon along with 2 HNLC militants tried to extort 5 lakh from a coal trader at Shillong Club. Though police managed to catch the militants, Fulmoon escaped. And here's what I find fishy, Shamarth. If the police could catch the 2 other trained militants, how did Fulmoon just slip away? I mean, he already had several cases against him, then why was he still walking free?
That is true,
Yeah, so what do you think about it?
So one of the reasons which I can see here is Full Moon was not a first-time criminal when he raped and killed them on the spot on the picnic.
Yeah, exactly.
He had history, but he was running free.
Exactly.
Already, it's very fishy already when he's running free. He has history, but no one's doing it.
Yeah, and if the law had done its job, then he would be behind bars already, and maybe the two women would still be alive.
And one of the women was a mother of 5 children.
Five
That's
children.
really heartbreaking.
It is. Soon, all 3 men involved in the murders were arrested. But if you think the story ends there, you're wrong. While in jail, Full Moon lived not like a criminal, but like a king. His prison life resembled a 5-star stay. He had access to wine, expensive meals, and luxuries that most inmates could only dream of. What do you think of that? Like, where was he getting all of that from? Like, how did he manage to get that kind of luxury?
The same people who didn't let him be captured on the first place are probably helping him here too. That's my opinion. That's my theory.
Maybe, okay. Then came January 8. A woman visited Full Moon in jail. Someone who would unknowingly become his pawn. Her name was Ibatiplang Karkungor. She was 24 years old when she first met Full Moon back in February 2006. At the time, she ran a small roadside tea shop. Full Moon and a friend had stopped there for tea. Something sparked between them that day, and over time they met at different places in Shillong. A romantic relationship developed between them. Then, without warning, Full Moon vanished from her life until January 2009, when she received a letter dated the 5th. It was handwritten in English from jail. Now let me tell you, Shamart, as I did some research, and while doing them I found out that Full Moon is not someone who was well read, so I'm surprised that he could write this letter in English.
From jail.
From jail, yes. And the letter says, and I quote, hope that you understand what I mean, and you will surely come to know the truth. I request you to come without fail. Touched by the letter, Ibatiplang visited him on January 8 with help from a jailer named Tobias Dhar, who would later be arrested for aiding Full Moon's escape.
So we see that the police were a bit involved already.
Exactly, they were helping him out. Now, if it wasn't the police, how would he get all those luxuries? Now, during the meeting, Full Moon denied killing the 2 women. He blamed it all on Krauborlang. Still in love and easily persuaded, she believed him. He asked her to collect money from someone, for he needed the money to help him secure bail, and promised to help her reclaim her ancestral land in Umsauli, which she believed had been encroached upon by the state government. And she agreed. So, acting as Full Moon's courier, Ibatiplang collected 3 lakh installments from a particular politician who's also Full Moon's uncle, but we cannot mention his name, so I'm just going to call him A. We'll just call him A. So Ibatiplang collected 3 lakh in 3 installments from a nominated Congress member of the Jaintia Hills District Council. The first payment was made at Shillong Club, room number 21, the second on May 12 and the third on May 18. But Full Moon had no intention of applying for bail. The money was used to buy weapons and plan what would become one of the most sensational jailbreaks in Meghalaya's history. On May 31st, 2009, just 9 months after being imprisoned, Full Moon Dhar, along with 6 other under trial prisoners, escaped Shillong at 7:20 a.m. They overpowered a single warden, fired 1 round from a 9mm pistol, and walked out to a waiting getaway vehicle. The ease of their escape clearly indicated an inside job. In fact, 2 recaptured under trial prisoners since Charlang Thongni and Krauborlang Marbanyang told the Justice D. Biswas Commission that the staff made no attempt to stop them. And that Dhar regularly bribed jail staff to smuggle in weapons and luxuries. The gate guard Singh allegedly helped the prisoners escape. To make the escape look convincing, he asked Full Moon to injure him. Full Moon hit him on the head with his pistol bat. No, this is so funny, he just sacrificed himself. Hit me, it's okay. Let me bleed. Okay.
Still got suspended.
Okay, the gate guard. The gate guard Singh allegedly helped the prisoners escape. To make the escape look convincing, he even asked Full Moon to injure him. Full Moon hit him on the head with his pistol butt, and Singh later claimed he had tried to stop the escape but failed. Following the investigation, Singh and several others were suspended. But the drama wasn't over yet. The very next day, June 1st, 2009, Full Moon was shot dead near the Ompawai forest in Janja Hills. 2 fugitives were captured alive during the encounter. Now, Ibatiplang was arrested soon after. During interrogation, she confessed everything, including collecting money from the politician A. Based on her statement, A was arrested on June 3rd and remanded to 14 days of judicial custody for aiding Full Moon.
Okay, so like I have a weird theory about this case now. So he was being given money by A, our secret politician, right?
Yes.
And then just the next day after the jailbreak, which obviously had intervention, probably from A himself.
Yeah.
Just the next day, he was shot dead.
Yes.
So I feel like there's a third party involved now. Some other politician, some other person involved. Could be?
Yeah, actually, I think there are a lot of people in power who are involved in this case.
Okay, so Full Moon was just not a random vigilante or not a random fugitive.
Not a random fugitive.
But he
no.
was quite a well-known name.
Like, he was a serial offender.
He was serial.
But just 2 days later, on June 5th, the police suddenly withdraw all charges against A and without explanation. There was no investigation, no follow-up, nothing. It was a blatant abuse of power, sparking massive outrage. A claims the money was for a church building and said he regularly donates to youth groups and charities. But what would a roadside tea seller like Ibatiplang have to do with a church, with building a church? Later, officials dismissed her statements as unreliable, saying that she was mentally disturbed. Okay, so her statement was not taken seriously. What's even more suspicious, all 6 of the escaped prisoners were caught alive without any injuries, while Full Moon alone was killed. Many believe the jailbreak was just a ploy to flush him out and eliminate him. Why? Maybe he knew too much. Maybe he posed a threat to people in high places. NGOs and civil society groups had smelt a cover-up. Over 20 NGOs formed a steering committee named Against Murder of Democracy, and on June 12, 2009, they staged a protest march to the state secretariat. Even political parties like the NCP and BJP demanded a full re-investigation. Activist Agnes Karshieng filed an RTI revealing that Full Moon had messaged Ibatiplang a few days before the jailbreak, around May 16 or 17, saying, "Boss, we are ready." But who was this boss? Speculation pointed to a person, we'll call him B, believed to have hired Full Moon on multiple occasions.
So just to confirm, is this B a politician too or a big man?
Not exactly, but he is related to a big man. Like, he is the nephew of a big man or a distant relative of another big man. Okay, not A, but another big man.
So we can assume this is the third party.
Yes, most probably. So B is a distant relative of another man. We'll just call him C.
Sure.
C. So we've got ABC. Of C, okay, a distant relative of C, who was also the Union Minister for Water Resources at that time. One under trial prisoner claimed Full Moon had been captured alive and later killed in custody. He also said Full Moon had been in touch with an MP from Jowai. This is C, okay. However, C denied any connection with Full Moon. Agnes's RTI findings were shocking. The bullet wounds on Full Moon's body were all uniform in size, making it unlikely that he was shot while running, right? Otherwise, the bullets will be all over his body. He was reportedly wearing a green shirt, okay, when he escaped, but photos of his corpse showed a black shirt. One of the escaped prisoners even claimed Full Moon was alive when first caught and was executed later. Now, Agnes Kharshian continued to push for the truth, but the state pushed back. She was booked under false charges. Police tried to arrest her, but she wasn't at home. Another woman who was also following the case closely, Mary Ann Poshna, was arrested on March 9th, but eventually both were granted bail. Agnes Kharshian said, and I quote, "I have managed to get anticipatory bail and Mary Ann has got bail as well. Very strange that they delayed her bail, saying that unless I was apprehended, they would not release her or the victim. The system is so corrupt and the orders are definitely coming from the one at the center."
So like this Agnes Kharshian was being used as a scapegoat for Mary Ann. So until she was captured, Mary Ann could not
be released. I won't say scapegoat, but they were using her as, what do you call it? As a blackmail,
Blackmail, yeah.
Like they were blackmailing Agnes into
to come into the custody.
Yes.
Then only Mary Ann would be released.
Yeah.
So, I don't think so police can do that.
So you're saying it's obviously someone a higher up. Okay. Yeah. Despite everything, the Rajkova Commission concluded that Full Moon's death was an act of self-defense and cleared all officers involved. And with that, the case of Full Moon Dhar comes to a close. But this story leaves behind more questions than answer. Why was Full Moon the only one killed? Why pump so much money into jail operations? Was someone trying to silence him? Whose image was at risk? Who was at risk? Why were activists like Agnes and Mary Ann framed? But here's what we know. 5 children will never again feel the warmth of their mother's love. A young woman's future, possibly as a mother herself by now, was snatched away. The misty hills and silent forests of Meghalaya witnessed one of the most haunting crimes in its history. And with that, we've come to the end of this case. And if you like what we do and want to see more of it, please subscribe and also comment which case you want us to cover next. And we also request you, if you've had any real life horror experience, you can just send them to us, DM us or email us. We will put the email address in the description below. Kindly send us your horror stories and we will read them out in our video if we make it in future.
And also any other cases you want us to cover next.
Yeah, please give us some suggestions. Please show us some love in the comments. And thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe, stay tuned, and
stay curious.
Enough! The princess! Clear your